Hi, this is day 249, 7th of May, Bible in a Year. Tonight I just want to look at the Isaiah readings and the Psalm reading. I know there's the Corinthians as well, but just those two. And I want to start off with the Psalm reading. I think it's important because with the Psalm, it actually talks about what has gone on before. David reminds people in this Psalm of who their God was, about that time when they were in Egypt and they fled. He brought them out of Israel, and it talks about God's provision. He spread out a cloud as a covering and a fire to give light at night, about him feeding with quail and the bread of heaven, and about he opened the rock and the water gushed out. I just think it's really good for us sometimes to take some time to write out what God has done in our lives. Write out those times when he's protected us or given us guidance. Write out those times when people have encouraged us and given us words and scriptures. Because at this time when David reminds the Israelite people, it's a time of hope for them. And that's what we need sometimes. Somebody once said that if you're looking to encourage somebody, the characteristics of them is that they're living. And I think sometimes with our faith that it needs building up sometimes, and what better that to share our own testimonies to build our faith up. So I suggest to yourselves just to spend some time and write out what God has done in your life and in those whom you care about as well, because there will come a time when your faith needs to be built up. And it's just good to not only read back in the Psalms and the scriptures, but also the experiences that you've had as well. Then the next bit then is the Isaiah reading. And I really just want to focus what it's saying from chapter 11 about this: a shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. And with this, it's as though the Isaiah, that he was writing to the people, the remnant, those who had been taken across to Babylonia as slaves, I guess. And it's just this hope for this remnant, that God has got it all planned out. You know, you might be suffering, you might be struggling where he's placed you, but in the end of the day, God has got it planned out. And here we read about what the future will bring, about this branch from Jesse. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of might, the Spirit of the knowledge and the fear of the Lord, and he will delight in the fear of the Lord. And I mean, for us, with hindsight, we can say, yeah, that's Jesus. That's who Jesus is. That's and the Spirit of the Lord did come on him, and it's amazing what happened. But if you think of the remnant, it's there to give them hope. So, like I said about the Psalm, that just use the Psalm, use it as an example to write down your testimony, to build your faith up. It's great to do that, but here it's also hope for us, that we may know that whatever comes our way as we walk with the Lord in his ways, that he will he's got it planned out for us, so we can build our hope on him. So when you read, the other thing that really got to me was the Spirit of the Lord. That's the Holy Spirit. And when we think that it's only in Pentecost when the Holy Spirit fell on the Christians, on the believers, the Holy Spirit's been there all the time. And here we have this, the people who they were written to, you know, they knew who the Spirit of the Lord was. And here is the proclamation that it will fall on the chosen one, on Jesus. And we have this hope in our heart that the Spirit of the Lord will also rest on us, that we too can have the spirit of the wisdom and of understanding, the counsel and the might, because Jesus said that. Jesus said when he ascended to heaven, when he went to the Father, that he would leave the Counselor. And this is who the Spirit is. So we have the hope. We can base our faith on the foundation of our own testimonies, and we can base our faith on the hope of what God will never leave us, never forsake us, and will be with us always. That's all I've got this week, so hope that's blessed you, and I'll speak soon. Bye.